Hey friend, this is the Fresh Princess of Email Marketing speaking, and you are listening to episode 13 of the Email Sound Booth podcast. Lucky, lucky me. So grateful you're listening, especially because today we're covering something dreadful, something stressful, something we've all done and all regretted. What to do when you have too much to promote to your email list in a small period of time. I know we've all done it. We've all committed to sharing the summit, the bundle, the whatever. But also, you have this really new podcast episode out that you want to push out to your list, or you found this amazing tool and your people must know about it right the freak now. Yep, we've all been there. Personally, I do this every September. I do this every April. It's super annoying. Those are the months where I'm not promoting anything personally. So I promise way too many colleagues, way too many friends that I'll share their thing. Oh yeah, I'll do that in April. Oh, September, babe, it's coming your way. Yep, hashtag guilty as sin. And because I'm so guilty of it, I've come up with a few clever ways of making it work. Did you ever watch Project Runway? This is a total side note. But, Tim Gunn from Project Runway, that was his slogan or whatever, make it work. I had this friend in high school named Jacob, and he had a really low voice, and he'd go around all day saying it. Like, I graduated in 2006, and that was really, really popular. And it was just coming out, and he'd be like, I'd be like, oh my gosh, this AP European history is kicking my butt. And he'd be like, make it work, Liz, make it work. Anyway, back to email marketing. Here's the first thing you can do when you've got to send out a lot of stuff to your email list in a short period of time. You don't want to overwhelm your subscribers, and you don't want to tick off anybody that you said, hey, I'll promote this. The first thing you got to do is segment. Now, I know in this podcast I talk a lot about don't segment. You don't need it. And I don't mean start creating segments all over the place just for this or that, crazy time in your email marketing journey. This will add more work for you. More work totally sucks, but you should already be using tags and such. So different offers can go to different things. For example, I've got two examples. The first one, let me just go with the one that I remember first. It just escaped my head. Maybe I only have one example. So I always run a flash sale with my buddy Pete in September. And I always push out around the same time my favorite copywriter's masterclass on how to make $2,500 per project as a copywriter. And literally, for no good reason other than, I don't know, I must just love to stress out my nervous system. Somehow I always do them both on the same exact week. So I use tags to isolate the copywriters because not everybody on my list needs that second offer, right? So I'll send out my regular newsletter. It goes out to everyone. And in the PS, I'll say, if you're a copywriter, click here. I've got something. And people will click that. It tags them as a copywriter. Then a few days later, I'll send my buddy Pete's offer to everyone because it's a much more blanketed offer. But the people that tagged themselves as copywriters will not ever see that flash sale. But they will see, I will send out a separate email just to those that tagged themselves as copywriters. I'll send that Caitlin's masterclass link to just them. So boom, I've got two things going at the same time, baby. Now, also sometimes I remember the second thing I was going to say. Sometimes, I'll promise or I'll see somebody's got a good offer, I like it, and I want to send it out. But, I'm also working on this promotion. For example, leading up to Black Friday, the people who are not in my annual pass, which is the annual rate of my membership, it's only open 3 times a year. You can't just buy it. So it's open on Black Friday. So the 2 months before Black Friday, I will be promoting, hey, this annual pass thing, it's get a year inside my membership and get all my other products for free. That is the emphasis for the majority of my email list. But what about the people that are already on the annual pass? And so let's say, I know Ecamm, which is what I use to record all my videos, they often run flash sales. And so while I'm able to promote and do the pre-launch of my annual pass for Black Friday, I can also promote this flash sale for Ecamm to people who are already customers, who already have that offer. So that is a way to use tags to promote lots of different things at once and not interrupt your own sales. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, number 2, make it an event. Announce a surprise week of deals of whatever, of my favorite things. You could be like Oprah, right? So whenever all that stuff you got to do, or all of that stuff you got to promote, send out your weekly newsletter and announce, kind of like you'd announce a flash sale, which if you need help with that, you can go to the previous episode, episode 12. We talk a lot about flash sales. So kind of like you'd announce a flash sale, you can announce you're going to send out daily emails just for this week, just for this time frame. And you can say, I'm going to share the most amazing resources I found on the internet this week, or however you want to promote it. You can tell them it's just for fun, that there's just so much goodness out there. Don't worry, I'm not going to start sending you daily emails if that's, something you think your subscribers will fear. But I don't want you to miss out. Side note, this might actually help you if you've never done a launch or launching feels really stressful, like mostly because just daily emails. This is a way of sending daily emails and getting, shout out the nervous system, getting the nervous system kind of regulated for that, without having to launch, right? So this is a great way of just practicing sending those daily emails without feeling super stressed and without putting a lot of pressure on yourself about it, right? Because in a launch, there's a lot of pressure. It can really stress you out to send daily emails. But with this, like, we're just announcing, maybe it's one day, hey, I found this tool. The next day, hey, here's a freebie swap thing I'm doing. Hey, here's a summit I'm in, whatever, right? So it's a lot less stress on your nervous system. It gets you used to sending daily emails, which you're going to have to do one day when you launch, and it gets your subscribers used to it too. Anyway, the key here for this event, for this daily emails for a week thing, is to be excited. The excitement needs to transfer to the reader, okay? So I got this idea a long time ago when I was promoting a bundle of products back in my RV days. So I did a, in quotes, TVC Live special series. TVC Live was the name of my YouTube channel, and I just went live and I sent out an email every day promoting one of the products in the bundle and then pointing people to the bundle to purchase that one product and, of course, everything else in the bundle. I did that every day. I think I did it for 9, 12 days or something. You can, if you don't have that much to promote, obviously don't do it for that long. So now I've converted this idea into this email series when I have a lot to promote. So you can give it a fun name, hey, this week, next week, whatever time frame, I'm going to come at you with X, Y, Z. But don't forget to make it exciting and be sure to tell them why this is beneficial to them, right? So it doesn't seem like you're just throwing a bunch of crap at them. Why should they care? For example, going back to that, TVC special series, I was like, hey, this is all stuff to help you get on the road full time. Every day I'm going to go live with a different, topic, explaining and giving you tips on XYZ, right? So people knew why it was beneficial. Okay. That's always important to share in your emails before you host the event and inside each email that comes during the event. Share why it's beneficial. Okay, so the third tip I want to give you is one email, lots of jobs. You know that one email, one job rule? I hate that rule. I hate it. Actually, you know what? That should be a subject for another episode. Hang on, I'm going to write that down. One email, one job. Maybe the title of that episode is, the one email rule I break all the time. Okay, I'm writing it down. Hang on. hang on. Okay, I'm done. So anyway, instead of hosting a whole week, if that's like, oh, Liz, that's too much work, just send one email with all the links. If you're in my membership, I have a template called Click Rate Crazy. You can search under click rates in the email library. You can get a template for this and, have it out in probably less than 20 minutes. If you're not in the membership, basically you just start the email like this, like, hey, I've got a lot to share today, kind of like Oprah's favorite things. Let me share a few different things you might be interested in today. Click at the ones that are most beneficial to you, something like that. Then just go right into it, putting all the links to all those things. Super, super simple. Even simpler if you have the membership. All right. I think those 3 things will help you when you're feeling overwhelmed by all the email promo stuffs. But I want to give you 2 bonus tips. So here's tip number 4. Postpone stuff. You're in charge of your calendar, right? So you're allowed to move it around. If, excuse me, for example, if I'm feeling stressed about Black Friday, which I mentioned is when I always open my annual pass, if I'm feeling stressed about the dates of that, maybe I'm like, I'm not going to do Black Friday. I'll do it at the beginning of the month, or I'll do it at the end of the month, because I also want to promote this eCam thing, right? I'm in charge of my own calendar, so I can move those things around if I want. I can postpone, I can move up, whatever. And then the last tip I want to give you, this might be a hot take, stop saying yes. You are allowed to say no when someone requires you to promote. For example, if you're in a summit or a bundle and they say, oh, the email requirements are 2 solo emails, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me, what? No one but me requires anything to do with my email list, okay? Say it again for the people in the back. No one but you can set your email requirements, okay? So when you're getting invited to these bundles and summits and whatever, you're allowed to say, that doesn't work for me. I do this all the time. I think I've only promoted maybe 3 summits ever, and those were ones I was like, yep, it makes sense to promote. I have time in my calendar. I'll definitely do it. But often, if it's, 2, 3 solo emails, I'll say, I can do a PS in one email, and I can push it out over here a little bit more. So I'm a lot more lenient with my social media, because social media is so temporary, right? You could post 10 times on Instagram a day and nobody would probably be annoyed, right? But you don't want to send 10 emails in a day, right? And so you are allowed to say no to, what's the word I'm looking for? Negotiate is the word I'm looking for. Y'all, oh my goodness. You're allowed to negotiate those terms. And if people say, actually, no, you have to send them, you can say, actually, no, I'm not going to give you free freaking content to grow your email list then. I'm sorry. No, it's ridiculous. I think the mandatory requirements are so outrageous and so outdated and so anti-consent, right? And email works because it's consent-based, which also means you can consent or take away consent as to what you're promoting to your email list. All right, this is me getting off my soapbox. Let's do a recap real quick. If you're feeling like you've got too much to promote in a small period of time, take a deep breath. You're not alone. Use tags and segments to send certain emails to certain people, or maybe decide to do something exciting like host a week of emails, sharing all you have to share. But don't forget to share the benefits of why your subscribers should give a crap. Because if you don't, they're just going to be like, oh, they're promoting all this weird stuff that I don't care about, right? And last, you can also send out one email with lots of different things. The bonus on that, your click rate's probably going to be pretty high. Speaking of bonuses, don't be afraid to postpone stuff. And please practice protecting your email list when people do things like mandatory requirements. LOL to that. It's your email list. You make the rules, my friend. Of course, if you are ready to really learn more email marketing strategies like what we discussed today, you want to get more templates that make all this stuff really easy, like the click rate crazy one I suggested, you can go to the show notes of this episode, join email marketing membership. Remember, it's just $9 a month. That link is always in the show notes. All right, that is it for today. Thanks for hanging out with me in the booth. As always, come back and share in the reviews of this podcast how this episode helped you today to get better at email marketing. I'm Liz Wilcox. You're awesome, and I'll meet you at the next episode of what? The Email Sound Booth.